Hello, my beautiful soulful seekers. Today I want to talk to you about the one important thing that you have to know when you are trying to receive divine guidance. Okay, and I'm in this absolutely gorgeous setting. I'm in Punta Cana right now. I'm going to show you a little bit of the background where I'm at. We have a cloudy sky. The colors are incredible. I'm right here, palm trees everywhere. It's really beautiful. And those who don't know me, I'm Natasha, also known as the Cosmic Empress, here to enlighten and inspire you a little bit. Okay, so how do we receive divine guidance? How do we listen to, bring in the messages? If you're just starting out on a spiritual path, then many times it's like, okay, I want to receive divine guidance from the other side. What is the other side? It's very, very important to distinguish. And in order to receive divine guidance, you have to know a little bit about where you are getting the information from, right? So I'm going to concentrate just on two different aspects of where you can receive divine guidance from, and I'm going to make another video exactly about the different avenues, the different places, beings, people that you can receive guidance from. But let's just concentrate on two different things. One is your own higher self, right? Receiving guidance from your soul, from that part of you that is in the fifth dimension, that part of you that is connected, that part of you that knows more, that part of you that is trying to whisper and give those messages to you who are incarnated here in this physical body. And sometimes it's really hard to distinguish what divine guidance is from your own soul and what isn't. So your own soul is that part of you that is truly wise, that has a greater overview of your life. And many times that very human, that very, tangible physical part of us, the ego, wants something different and has a different agenda, okay? So the soul is the first place we can receive divine guidance from. The second place to receive divine guidance from is your personal team of angels and guides who are there to support you and help you. And I'm going to make, like I said, I'm going to make several videos about all this in detail. But just to distinguish this, your own soul, like your own guidance from your higher self, one, and two, your team of spirit guides and angels who are there all the time to help you. And they are, believe me. So it's very important to be very aware of where you're receiving guidance from. So before I tell you the one important thing, there's a prerequisite. It's like you're not going to walk around and suddenly hear this booming voice like, whoa, yes, from the sky there's a voice telling me you must do this, you must do that. That's not how it happens. The problem is the divine guidance from your higher self or your angels and guides and your own thoughts, your own ego, they sound the same. They sound the same. Often you're receiving messages and you think it's just your own thoughts. So what I actually do every day, what I encourage you to do, I meditate, pray, and speak to my guide of angels and guides every day. I ask for divine guidance. I've been doing this for years, even before I was really far in my spiritual journey, even before I even knew what was going on. I always said, talk to me, angels and guides. I want to know, I need guidance. And I called on them. And it doesn't matter how far you are, it doesn't know if you don't know who they are, what they are, how many spirit guides you have, what the names of them are, it doesn't matter. If your intention is to connect with your team of light, if you just say that, if you ask every day for that in meditation, then you will receive answers from them because they are there and they are there to guide you. So if you put your intention on that, then that's step number one. And obviously, by doing spiritual work, you're opening up the channel, a clearer channel to your own higher self. So those two places are the main places that we do receive the guidance from and that are open. Those channels are open to us all the time. And the more intentional we are about it, the more we can receive the messages. So now, as a prerequisite, I know it's a long prerequisite, but you know, it's important. It's important. So now, what I'm about to say may seem so simple, but it's something that really changed my ability to perceive guidance. That's not just my ego, not just my own thoughts, not just my own, ramblings in my mind every day. And this is what you have to do. Setting the intention to do what's right, to open your channels of intuition. With that intention, as you go about your day, the only thing you have to do is pay attention and do not disregard anything that comes through. Okay? Because that's the biggest mistake we make. We make the mistake, we suddenly have an idea pop in our head, or we suddenly feel inspired to do this or that. And that is the divine guidance. It seems like a thought, it seems like an idea, it seems like an inspiration. It feels exactly the same, it sounds exactly the same, but it is divine guidance. So do not disregard anything that comes in, that comes through, that is an inspirational idea. And the divine guidance is something that feels good, that feels aligned, where you kind of feel, oh, this is a good idea, this is good. Usually the divine guidance coming in makes you feel uplifted, makes you feel right. It makes you feel good. So you can distinguish that easily from fearful thoughts or from egoistic impulses, because they don't feel good and clear and right. And it can be the slightest, tiniest impulse or whisper or idea that comes into your mind. And do not disregard anything in your daily life, or those of you who do intuitive work, those of you who are starting to read tarot, those of you who are doing psychic work. It's so important to not disregard anything. Everything that comes in, take it seriously. And don't think, oh, that's just stupid, I can't receive divine guidance, I'm not able. No, you have to listen to every impulse, every thought that comes in, that feels good, that feels inspired, that feels like, oh, I should do this. Oh, maybe I should listen to this. Especially if there's a feeling involved with that, a feeling, a knowing, okay? And that is the most important thing you can do, because most people that I know come to me and say, my guides aren't speaking to me, my angels are not communicating me. Why not? But they are. But you're disregarding it. They're speaking to you in such small and subtle whispers that it feels like your own thoughts. So you have to start really paying attention to those inspirational little impulses, the little inner calls to action. Oh, I should do this, and that feels right. Okay, it doesn't have to be a huge thing. It doesn't have to be something significant. It's those small little things. And once you start paying attention to every little thing and start just saying, okay, all right, and maybe keep a journal of that. Maybe act on that. That is your divine guidance, and it's really true. That's really how it starts. And I got to tell you a story. In general, when I'm traveling, this is what happens so strongly, and that's actually where I really started paying attention, because every time I travel, and I travel a lot, the synchronicities that happen are unbelievable. It's like I'm in the flow, and I set the intention that this trip is going to be amazing, everything will be synchronistic. And even before I was very consciously spiritual, I would love traveling, because I would just know and trust that everything would go well. And I would follow the impulses, the ideas that I had. I would just move forward smoothly. And the synchronicities of catching planes that should have been missed, of things just merging in the perfect timing, every single time just baffled me. And it happened again on this trip. And what happened today is this. I changed rooms. I'm in this hotel here, right? You can hear the animation. The pool's right over there. I'm just going to show you again because it's so beautiful. Look, this right there. The sun is setting and the pool is there. You see, it's really beautiful. Anyways, I changed rooms. And so I packed everything, and I'm usually really, really good at packing because, and at changing rooms, packing up stuff, because I've forgotten things so many times that I'm really careful. So I packed everything very carefully. I'm very organized in my rooms now, so things don't get lost. So I changed rooms. I got to my new room. And then suddenly I remembered. I don't know how I could remember this. I was sure I did it. I left some things in one drawer. Just, you know, a couple tissues, hygienic things, just a couple little products. I was like, who cares? But then I got this niggling impulse to just go and look for it. Go ask the roommate. I made friends with her, a lovely, lovely lady. Just go and ask her and see if she found something. And I'm like, nah, I'll forget it. I got the impulse again. Forget it, I'm gonna go have lunch. So I went and had lunch. After lunch, it was already like 4 p.m. Again, I kind of thought of this. I thought I should go and ask. That was the third time. So I said, okay, I'm just gonna go and ask. And these are things that happen almost on a subconscious level. I wasn't aware that I was getting a message, but I'm in the flow these days, and I'm very aware of these patterns of messages or impulses that I just follow them automatically. So I went there. I went to the room where I had moved from, and I saw one of the housekeeping supervisors, right? And she said, oh no, the lady who cleans the room, she's gone. The housekeeper, she's gone already. Okay, and I said, I left these things in there. She says, okay, well, and they were phoning around and they were saying, no, nothing was found. And I said, you know what, I think it's still in the drawer. She says, no, it's not possible. We check all the drawers. But I was like certain, in my mind, I saw these items in that drawer. I saw them there. I said, they're still in the drawer. She must have missed it. They said, no. I said, can you please check? Okay. So one of them went up, up the stairs to the room and knocked on the door. And the room was already occupied. A new guest had rented this room. So she said, oh no. I said, can you please just check? Can you please, like, it's in a drawer underneath the safe. Could you just ask them to check? So she did. She knocked us several times. The guests were kind of annoyed. They opened the door. The housekeeping lady went in. I waited outside. And then she came out with a bag full of these items. They were there. She said, are these your items? I said, yes. And then she went like this. And she had my mom's credit card in her hand. She says, is this yours as well? And I'm like, yes, where did you find this? She said, well, you know, I opened the safe because the safe didn't have a new lock. The new guests hadn't rented the safe. I never told her to look in the safe. She said, I just on an impulse, I just opened the safe and groped around really well. Groped around a second time, and I found this lying in the back flat, and I almost didn't feel it. And I found this credit card in there. I was like, yes, that's my mom's credit card. So I was like, wow. And you know, this credit card, my mom had given this to me a few months prior, and I came from Canada here to this hotel. My mom came from Germany. We met here, and also I was going to give her that credit card back, and it was really important for me to give it back to her. And I had left the credit card in the safe, and I believe I had left these hygienic items, and I had gotten those impulses to go and look for them because the credit card was in the safe and needed to be found. And I know that this is my team of guides. I know it was my spirit guides who were giving me the impulse, go and look for the stuff. Because had I not done that, I would never have seen that credit card again. I would never have seen those items again, and it would have been a huge hassle. First of all, we would have searched through all our bags for this credit card. We would have, you know, gone to a lot of trouble. And then on the last day, probably it would have been too late, and maybe other guests would have found that card and used it. Who knows? Anyways, when I took the card from the lady, I got hot and cold shivers all the way down my body. Like, whew. I was like, wow, okay. I said, thank you. Like, thank you, my beautiful spirit guides, for having given me the impulse 3 times, not once, not twice, but 3 times, for me to go and get that. And that is that's just a really good example of how your guidance team can talk to you and can speak to you. I didn't hear a booming voice. I didn't feel that it was a guide. I was just walking along normally in my daily life, looking at everything, just getting like impulses to do this and do that. And just being very awake and aware, and every day having asked for guidance, that whenever I need it, I will go to the right place. Everything will work in perfect order, that I will listen to the subtle messages, that I will hear them and act upon them with that intention in my life. This is what happened today. And that's just one small example of guidance that I receive every day. So it's really important that you really, first of all, ask for guidance, ask for messages, and then don't think it's gonna be anything huge and extraordinary. In the smallest cases, that happens, almost never. It's just guidance that comes through as little thoughts, as little pictures, as little impulses, and other people doing things, you know, as a synchronistic flow, that if you pay attention and you take little pieces of actions towards that, then things will work out for you and your life will be better. Okay, so that's what I wanted to talk about today with that example. And I hope you start doing that. And stay tuned, I'm going to do a whole series of videos about divine guidance, about angels, about guides, about how to develop your intuition, and how this has worked for me and how this is playing out for me in my life. Thank you so much. Natasha, your Cosmic Empress, here, sending you a big kiss and a big hug from Punta Cana, Dominican Republic. Bye. Just a roundabout view for you to look where I am here. Isn't that gorgeous? Look at those clouds, those colors. Really, really beautiful. Here we go. Palm trees. Okay, bye.